Hello, everyone. How's it going? I am Mavernell, he of many faces. Welcome to the
And-
stream.
Sorry.
Oh, and with me is my lovely guest.
Kairi Aki, the Atlantean shaman. How y'all doing?
Yeah. Hello.
My sorry.
No, go for it. Go for it. We're getting used to this. This is first
Yeah.
time for both of us.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say actually. No, I was just oh no. I was gonna say my usual greeting, which is uhelile, which means howdy there, kind of something like that.
Alrighty then. We are already off to a great start, Pudos. Welcome, Elmer Mouse. Welcome, Grey Prince Zoe. How is it going? Oh man. Alright. I do wanna let's just jump into it, start chatting about stuff. First, before we do anything else, I wanted to get into your background, Kairi. Cause you've actually done stuff related to animation. Like, not directly animating anything though, I don't think, but other stuff?
Yeah. I have translated a couple of shows for their European Portuguese dubs to air on TV.
Nice.
I've translated, if I can go into specifics, I translated Monster Hunter Stories Right On. I translated Inazuma 11 Aries. And my favorite work that I've done is Rocky and Bullwinkle, or better yet, the new Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, the one that came out in 2017. Other than that, I've also actually voiced in 2 movies.
Nice. So
Yeah.
you actually have experience in the animation industry, unlike me, who is just a fan and likes to watch stuff, which is good. Good.
I mean, I was super lucky to get those things. Well, one of my voice acting works, I wouldn't actually call it like a work, because it was in 2008. I was very young and super nervous. And you can tell if you go watch it, you can tell.
I bet that I probably would have been the same way at that age. If I had gotten a voice acting role. I honestly, at this age, if I got a voice acting role, I'd probably just completely screw it up. So, oh man, well that's cool. I didn't realize you had actually voiced and stuff. I knew that you had done some localization work and translating and whatnot. Speaking of that, actually, I did want to go into a little bit about translating and stuff before we actually talk about actual animations. Translating, localizing, how does that work? Because like we get to hear about it now and again from folks, but like I always like hearing more perspectives about like how do you localize, like what gets changed in the translation, you know?
Okay. So one thing that I am usually encouraged to do. By the way, I'm not the only translator in the family. In fact, my brother is the one who's the full-time translator. So a lot of what I know, he started before I did, actually. So a lot of what I know and a lot of what I've done and experimented with came from him originally, because he's the one who started. I just learned from him. Well, one thing it starts with a good understanding of the English language, and not just a good understanding of the English language as written, but as spoken as well, like, you know, colloquial language, because it's something that some translators, and I've heard actual voice actors complain about this. You know, voice actors, dubbing actors, the ones who have to read what you write.
Yeah.
so that it gets aired on TV. Yeah, I've heard a lot of them complaining about how the text doesn't feel like it knew what the original was actually about. Sometimes it feels more like a word by word translation than anything else. So this is to say that there are translators that work like that. I don't usually. I don't usually. Like, I try to be as faithful as possible to the original. And in fact, if I'm translating from English but the original is Japanese, usually I also have the Japanese on to see, like, because I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot of Japanese. Like, I don't know conversational Japanese, but I know enough that I can catch on some expressions and some words. Like, and if I catch a few words, I can tell what the sentence being spoken actually means if I compare it to the English, especially.
Mm-hmm.
So, so what I usually do, what I usually do is I try to be, like I said, as faithful to the original. But if I see that there's a chance to make it so that it flows better in my own native language, which is Atlantean. Psych, it's Portuguese. I usually say that Portuguese is modern Atlantean.
Yeah, yeah. As we all know, the Atlantis sunk underneath Portugal.
Well, one of the places where I mean, the version of Atlantis where I am from is part of the Portuguese continental shelf and the Portuguese exclusive economic zone. So, yeah, it is. My version of Atlantis is indeed in Portugal, is in Portuguese territory.
Fantastic. Uh,
So,
so
so yeah.
Elmer Mouse had a comment here. In other words, it needs to
Mm.
feel more natural to the voice actors. Am I correct?
Yes, exactly. Though that sometimes there's also like other things that we have to take into consideration, which is um sometimes the actors also know English. So if they catch that you're not translating, like that you're adapting too much, they're going to ignore it. That sometimes happens.
Just ignore your translation. 10 out of 10. Uh, okay. So you have to strike a balance between like a faithful raw translation and like adapting it so it flows a little better in Portuguese.
Yeah, you're looking for the best, for a good middle ground between the two, because you also don't know who is going to read it. Like, I've had a couple of experiences where, like, okay, because unlike a lot of like translators, when I have the time, I do like to check out what the actors did with my writing. My brother also does that, and it's interesting because there are some actors that pretty much adapt everything they see, and there's others who say exactly what we put on the page, like verbatim. And it's interesting to see which ones do which. Oh, and there's one voice actor that, like, I didn't get to work with him all that much, but my brother
Mm-hmm.
has. My brother, by the way, he's been the official translator for Beyblade in European Portuguese for, like, ever since like 2019. So, like,
Beyblade.
if you watched an episode of any season of Beyblade post 2019, so Beyblade Burst, I should mention, it's Beyblade Burst. If you've watched anything from Beyblade Burst Evolution onwards, it was my brother. Or in like, there's a slight chance that you also might catch an episode translated either by me or my mom. Like, when
Dang.
yeah, when the workload gets too much, my brother asks me and my mom for help. and we're more than happy to do that. I mean, my mom wanted to be a translator as well, so and I get a feeling that when she retires, she's gonna start doing this like full time.
Hey, that's super cool. A whole family of translators. Let's go.
Yeah, except for my dad. My dad is an engineer. He's a civil engineer. Well, he was. He's retired. He's retired already. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But yeah, as I was saying, okay, so in Beyblade, there's this one voice actor who's been there from the beginning of Burst, of Beyblade Burst, and I don't know why, but he manages to say every line that me and my brother translate exactly like we pictured them. It's amazing.
That's great.
It's the best feeling when that happens, because we're like, oh, dude, this is only gonna fit if he says it like this, and then he does, and it's awesome. Especially since like we're not involved in a recording process at all. Like as soon as we send the emails with the translated scripts, our job is done. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing when that happens, when everything fits so perfectly. Like it's the best feeling.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my gosh, it sounds like he's a good voice actor.
Yeah, he is. He is. I can actually tell you his name. His name is Michel Simeon, by the way.
Michel Simeon?
Yeah, Michel Simeon. He voices in Beyblade. In Beyblade Burst, he voices Volt, the main character of the first few seasons.
Okay. I haven't actually watched Beyblade. I am vaguely aware that it actually has a show attached to it, attached to the toy. Mostly I just know the toys.
It has a bunch. It has a bunch of shows, actually. I think that Burst is like...
Oh my god.
The third major iteration of the franchise, because there was the original, you know, with Tyson and Kai and all those nice fellas. There was Beyblade Metal Fusion, and I don't think that there was any between Metal Fusion and Burst. Not sure. Don't quote me on that.
Okay,
but,
I won't.
Yeah.
All right, so, whew, I feel like I just got info dumped on a little bit. That's cool.
Sorry.
Though. No, it's good. Half the reason I pulled you on here is because you can just ramble on, and I can just like prompt you with questions and just sit back and listen. Oh man. That's good stuff, though. No, the other half of the reason is that you have actually worked in animation stuff, and I think that's super cool, and that's something I've always wanted to do. Thank you, Elmer Mouse, for clarifying the pronunciation there with a good spelling. Thank you.
Yeah.
We also had someone.
Elmer is one of my regulars, by the way. So
I had gathered that.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by, my dude. We also had a question from Grey Prince Zote earlier about DBZ and whether or not we're both familiar with it, because it's apparently gotten a couple of English dubs. I'm not as familiar with DBZ. I do know that there's... I have watched a bit, but I know that there's like... There's a new version that came out, Dragon Ball Super, recently, and I think the dubbing actors are mostly the same, if I remember right for that. I don't know, I'm not as familiar. Are you?
I was under the impression, like someone in chat could probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that the dub of Dragon Ball Super is kind of like a mix between most of the earlier Dragon Ball Z dubs, which like in English it had at least two that I know of. Then there's the obscure meme kind of ones, like okay, so there's at least the Funimation and the Ocean dub. Basically Funimation done in the US, like I think between Texas and LA, and then you have Ocean, which is based off of Vancouver in Canada. So
I didn't know about Ocean at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, there's a lot of Canadian voice actors that are super talented. Like they've been
Okay.
working like a lot of them are veterans ever since like the late 80s, and
Oh
they're
wow.
still working. I can tell you right now, one of my favorite Canadian voice actors is Kathleen Barr. Um,
Okay.
if you want to know who she is, okay, so I can give you at least two major roles that she did. One was Trixie from My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic,
Okay.
and the other that I usually use as an example because it's a bit of out of left field, but mainstream enough that most people will know is wait, what was Marie Canker from Ed, Edd n Eddy, one of the Canker sisters.
Really?
So
Wow.
yes.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
Ed, Edd n Eddy was voiced in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, really? It was voiced in
Yes.
Canada?
Yes.
I'm getting my mind blown today. This is okay, this is 100% of the reason why, like, this is why I brought you on, because you just know stuff that I don't. This is great. Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
But yeah, all of this to say that yeah, those voice actors, and yeah, I mentioned My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. That was also voiced mostly in Canada, mostly because sometimes they got like, okay, so first you have Tara Strong as Twilight Sparkle, and she recorded her lines I think in LA. But then you also had like the other guests like John Delancey as Discord, um, and stuff like that. But most of the cast that's in My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, especially like the background ponies and the male incidental characters. Yeah, a lot of them voiced characters in Dragon Ball. So
Wow. That
yeah,
well, I mean, I
for
guess I shouldn't be too surprised then, if since
yeah.
there's not too many people in the voice acting industry.
Yeah, at least like in Canada, I get the feeling that if you want to work in voice acting, you have to move to Vancouver. There's no two ways about it.
That's how it is with a lot of things in Canada, unfortunately. You either have to be in Vancouver or you have to be in Toronto. And there's like, or not, oh yeah, it's like Vancouver, Toronto, or Ontario. Those are like the three places where everything's at in Canada. And the rest of
Yeah,
it's just empty.
yeah, like the memes say, right?
Yeah.
Like
Can't,
the Canada is just the great big wilderness, and then there's a couple of cities here and there.
yeah, just big empty wilderness. There's 3 cities and a pipeline.
Yeah,
That's all anyone cares about.
yeah.
Oh.
But yeah,
Oh
and
man.
other than those two dubs, there's for example the Big Green dub, which is a dub that was done. I don't remember where exactly, but I don't know. Was it Malaysia? I don't know. It was somewhere out of left field like that. And it's called the Big Green dub because that's what they called Piccolo.
Oh my god. That- they called Piccolo Big Green. Oh,
Exactly.
that I
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh,
The reason why I know of it is because of a reviewer that I watch. I haven't caught up with his latest reviews yet, but like he made a review. He made a review of one of the Dragon Ball Z movies. I don't remember the title, the actual official title, but the Big Green title was Strongest Guy in the World.
strongest guy in the world. Oh, what a title.
Yes.
Oh. Oh man. Okay. So, I'm still on the topic of voice
Sorry.
acting. I
Mhm.
just
And I didn't. By the way,
Oh,
I didn't even talk about the European Portuguese dub of Dragon Ball Z. That also reached meme status on the internet.
oh gosh, by all means, go for it.
Okay, I don't remember like the specifics on why it happened the way it did. But the thing is, uh let's just say, okay, imagine if you had Dragon Ball, but dubbed by how can I put this? Uh I didn't want to say like small town hillbillies, but that's kind of what you got.
Oh my god. Small town
Like,
hillbilly dub.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, which it wasn't. It was dubbed in the capital, but it had this very like country-esque feel to it. Like let's and they adapted the can I swear? Can I swear on
Oh
this?
yeah, by all means, go for it.
They adapted the shit out of it.
Oh god. Did they
Like,
just turn it into Andy Griffith at some point? Is that basically what happened?
I'm not familiar with Andy Griffith, but I'm gonna say that probably yes. It's
Oh.
kind of like, for example, oh, and the Saint Seiya dub also got the same treatment. It's just that since Saint Seiya isn't as big as Dragon Ball Z, the Portuguese dub isn't as infamous. Let's put it
Oh,
like that.
okay.
For example, I was trying to think. Oh, right. Okay, so there's one scene. There's someone should really like translate a couple of those clips of the European Portuguese dub into English, like either like try to actually dub it or just closed captioning it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for example, when there's a scene where Goku is trying to show Vegeta how to do the fusion dance, and
Hmm.
Vegeta just goes like, "Look here, I'm no ballerina. You got that?"
Oh my. Oh. To be fair, that does actually sound like something Vegeta might say.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah,
it just off enough that I'm like,
yeah. Oh, one of your chatters is saying, I know a European dub had villains basically sing instead of scream. Yeah, like because they were not familiar with the whole power up scream trope.
Oh.
So basically what they did was they just made stuff up. Okay, so the character has to be vocalizing something, right? So what they did was like they started off okay. Okay, I'll just demonstrate for you what they usually did.
I'm listening.
So you start the power up. Ah.
Oh, you cut out. I think your voice
Oh,
activity
sorry.
automatically limited you.
Oh, dang it. Okay. So I'm gonna do it a little bit lower so they do the power up. Ah,
Oh my god.
just like that until the character shuts their mouth.
That's incredible. I what a
Now imagine that, but like full power,
yeah, no, I'm like borderline just like imitating opera house singing for it is kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah,
Oh man. That's fantastic.
yeah. So if you're curious, search for like Dragon Ball Z Portuguese European Portuguese dub. You'll get a lot of Brazilian people in the comments saying that that's not the right dub because there's this rivalry between the both Portuguese both versions of the Portuguese language.
Oh yeah, yeah, because there's a similar problem with Spanish. I know where there's
Oh yeah.
there's European Spanish, obviously, from Spain. Then you have Mexican Spanish. Then you have Puerto Rican Spanish. You have American Spanish. And then you have
Argentinian Spanish.
Argentinian Spanish, Brazilian Spanish, which is its own thing. And we're not even getting into the versions of Spanish that go over and exist.
Brazilian Spanish?
Brazil has its own brand of Spanish as well, in addition to Portuguese.
Oh wow, okay.
I think the ranking for languages spoken in Brazil is Portuguese, Spanish, and then English.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense actually.
But yeah,
geographically, you know.
Yeah, I'm given to understand it's almost exactly the same as Argentinian Spanish. But I again, this is just second-hand knowledge from talking to folks who I used to work with in restaurants. Because you end up working with a lot of folks from other places, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I have to say about the European DBZ dub.
Yeah.
European Portuguese DBZ dub.
That's I'm wowed. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move away from translations and dubs a little bit.
Yeah.
I did want to get some opinions from you. Because I have opinions on this about 2D and 3D animation. Do you like one better than the other? I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay. It's like this. I'm an old soul, right? So, I lean more towards the 2D animation side of things. But I am not one of those people who go like, "Oh, if it's 3D, I'm not interested." Because I know that there are people like that.
Yeah.
That are like completely uninterested in animation if it's not 2D, and I think that no, dude, there's a lot to like about 3D animation. Like my major issue with 3D versus 2D is not so much what goes into it. It's more the fact that we seem to have replaced one for the other, and I just don't think that is okay, because they're still very different mediums.
No, I agree. That's most of my problem with the Western shift to primarily 3D animation. In some cases, only 3D animation, like with Disney. They don't do 2D at all anymore.
Which is a shame.
It is.
They could do so many cool things nowadays with like the power that computers have nowadays. Like, can you imagine?
Oh, I can, because Japan's over there doing it right now. Especially so. Okay, so I prefer 2D animation, but almost all of my favorite works blend 2D and 3D. Fate Zero, Titan AE come to mind. Both of those. Violet Evergarden actually uses 3D animation as well, which is one of my favorite animes of all time. So, but like the thing is like there's a lot of 2D animation in there too, but they use 3D to accent it, right? And like,
yeah.
You know, bring more to the table.
Yeah, no, that's what I feel is a shame, because that's the direction that animation in general was going with, like during the 90s and early 2000s, and they just dropped it.
Yeah,
like it's just.
I'll never ever shut up about the crime of my brain's frying. 20th Century Fox shutting down their animation studio. Titan AE was the last thing they made, and it was so good. It was such a perfect blend of 2D and 3D animation. Like, it was flawless. You couldn't even tell if you weren't looking for it, that they were switching between the
Yeah.
two. Oh,
Yeah, no, like I watched the movie in preparation for this.
because it's only one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah.
I can see why, by the way. I can see why. I mean,
It's
we can talk about it. We can talk about it in more detail later, but yeah.
oh yeah. Tiny went so hard. Yeah, it did. Kirby right back at you. What is that?
Kirby right back at you. Okay.
The-
I think that that is the 4Kids title of
oh.
of the of the Kirby anime.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
transformations was
that's
3D.
DDD was 3D.
Interesting. I'm not familiar with that, so I can't really comment on it. I didn't actually have television during that time, so I completely missed all of the Toonami and 4Kids stuff. I went back and watched some of the Toonami stuff later on, but I completely missed that era entirely. Just it 100% passed me by.
Yeah. Like the reason why I know of Kirby Right Back at You is actually because of YouTube poops.
Oh my god, YouTube poops.
Yeah. Specifically the ones from a creator named Geibu-chan. I'm not sure. I don't know if you're familiar.
Wait. Oh, no, that is ringing a bell in my head. What the heck? I don't.
Okay. Okay, I'll help you. It's the guy who ended most of his YouTube poops with an Azumanga Daioh dedicated segment.
Oh, yes. 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 No, okay. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm having like time whiplash cuz that oh no. I'm so old. I'm getting so old. It's been so long.
Dude, both of us, and like I do a lot of time traveling, so my sense of time is all messed up.
Yeah, no, I feel that, you know. Woo. My god.
But yeah, like
YouTube. Sorry, I'm stun locked from YouTube poops being brought up. I'm completely like my brain's completely fried from that. I haven't thought about YouTube poops in years. Oh my god.
There's a few creators who have kept going actually.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I'm following at least 2 right now. And I think that Geibu-chan actually is also still kind of active, not as much as he used to be, but yeah, he keeps uploading stuff sometimes. One of my favorites of his is IOU a YTP, which is a Quack Pack YouTube poop.
Oh my! I might have to go. I might have something to do later today. Go watch some YouTube poops. Oh, that was an era of YouTube, wasn't it? Oh gosh,
yeah, it was.
I think when I found my first I first started watching YouTube. YouTube first started becoming like a thing when I was in middle school. So.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just being teleported back to then. I'm like, Woo. Okay, yeah. Sorry, that's just completely stun locked me. Let's
okay.
Let's move on from that. YouTube poops are a little off topic, even if they do feature a lot of very excellent animations.
Unless they're sourcing Dingo Pictures stuff, which.
YouTube poops were prominent in 2017, though. Wait, what? Were they?
I'm not sure. I think that there were still a few going on during that time, but
because YouTube poops was the mid 2000s.
Yeah, I think that it had like waves, so to speak.
Like a little renaissance kind of.
Yeah, like a couple of renaissances. I think that the latest YouTube poops that are, important, important like as if like YouTube poop can be like important, but I think that the last resurgence was indeed in like 2017.
Okay,
Like
because like I remember them from like 2005. That's
yeah, no. I remember that. I remember that era. I also remember like the around 2011, 2012. I think that some of the times that Geibu-chan was particularly active, as well as other like creators that I personally enjoyed, like Avoja If Not. I think that's his name. The names of the guys who did the YouTube poops were also amazing. There was Big Fat Pooper Scoop. There was I Teach
oh my
Vader.
god.
There was the Chairman 45. There was Deeper Cut. There was I'm a Person. There was Ijula Mom, later Oirama Pop.
Oh my god. These names, 10 out of 10. I wish my branding were half that good. Oh my god.
Okay,
Okay.
that's enough. That's enough YouTube poops for now.
Yeah.
Go
So
on.
okay. I'm I'm like I'm trying to get myself back to the topic at hand. I'm having a hard time though. I just want to talk about
Sorry.
YouTube. No. It's okay. It's fine. This is good. This is good. So
Okay.
we were talking about 2D versus 3D. I mentioned a few of my
Mhm.
favorite shows. What are some of your favorite shows? What really got you into animation? Like what were some of the earliest shows that got you into animation? And what were some of
Animated
your favorites since?
uh animated shows?
Yeah, or movies and
Mm,
works of animation that got you into
okay,
animation.
works of animation. It's interesting because I like those question and answer things that sometimes go around on Twitter. I
Hmm.
think that I think that I answered one like that, like I don't know, the day before yesterday or something.
Oh.
And basically what I said, and this still stands. It didn't change from the day before yesterday to today. Was I think that for me, it kind of started with The Lion King, and
Hmm.
it's like, and it's not a linear story, because I always liked animation. I always liked animated movies and shows. I mean, I grew up with them. I kept liking them even though the world started telling me that I couldn't like them anymore because I wasn't a child anymore. Uh but I just kept going. But The Lion King is what got me to do more research and get more into the actual like nitty-gritty of what animation is and what makes it great.
Okay.
Um because like and this was in around 2006. I don't remember exactly what spurred me on. I think it was actually finding out that The Lion King and a half was a thing that existed. So if I
Oh
want to
my
get
god.
technical, it wasn't actually The Lion King. It was The Lion King one and a half.
Oh my god. Lion King 1.5 is a
Yeah.
treasure.
Yes, it is. Yes,
S-
it is.
It I
Like
appreciate I miss the Disney that would release an entire movie into theaters as a fucking joke.
oh,
Cause
yeah.
the entire Lion King 1.5 is just a massive joke, but it's so good. It's such a high quality joke.
Yeah, no, like one thing that I keep having to like sometimes you see like, I mean, I don't usually engage with the discourse all that much because I was burnt a few times like in the past.
Oh
But
yeah.
usually I was on DeviantArt. That's all you need to know.
Oh no.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, but sometimes I do see, some takes like, oh, the Disney Direct DVD sequels, they were so bad and stuff, and like, and this is people that you can tell have only watched like, I don't know, Cinderella 2 or something, some of the really low quality, low effort ones,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
immediately assume that every other Disney sequel is like that. Like, no, guys, not every Disney sequel is either Cinderella 2 or a failed prequel to an animated show. I'm talking about Atlantis, by the way. Uh
Oh.
or yeah, what the things we lost, man, the things we lost.
Oh. There was only the
Uh
one Disney Atlantis movie. Okay, the second one was
what?
okay. No, I was joking that there's only one Disney Atlantis movie. The second one was okay, but that prequel thing that they made,
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I do want to in Japanese because Romy Park, one of my favorite seiyus, voices Kida, and I'm all for that.
nice.
Yeah.
One moment, real quick, Capro.
Okay.
Congratulations on getting the job.
Oh, dude! Congratulations! I don't know you, but
Yeah,
yay!
Capro's been working very hard to get into an internship at the at a museum, I do believe. So I'm very excited for him.
Oh, cool! I would love to work in a museum. I mean,
Eh.
just look at me.
Right?
Yeah. Um, but yeah, as I was saying, okay, so I learned that the Lion King 1.5 existed. I absolutely loved it, especially since, okay, my favorite character in the Lion King is Simba, but my second favorite is Timon. Okay, and
Okay.
knowing that he had like a whole movie where he actually has like a character arc and stuff, that is awesome to me.
Oh
And
yeah.
especially like at that time I was really into Portuguese dubs. I mean, I only stopped being into Portuguese dubs in around like 2011, 2012.
Hmm.
And I never really left. It was just one of those things like, oh, it's kind of painful to go back, so you kind of keep your distance a bit. Uh so
Yeah.
So, uh, one of the things that also helped was okay. So I'm a huge fan of Timon's Portuguese voice actor, who's his name is André Maia. By the way, he also voices Clopin in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. He also voices one of the dragon heads in Quest for Camelot. Remember that?
Wait. Oh, Quest for holy moly, Quest for Camelot.
Yeah.
I forgot that exists. Like my brain is active right now. Neurons have activated that have not been activated in many a year. Holy moly!
Many a moon.
In many a moon.
Yes. But
Oh.
yeah, and he also did like a bunch of other things. Like he was very prolific until he moved to Greece.
Oh.
So yeah, like, and I usually say, oh, I miss him so much. But yeah, he's still one of my favorite. He's still one of my favorite voice actors. I mean, I'm sure that if Elmer is around, he'll chime in because he does that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
but yeah, and he doesn't usually get to voice main characters like in movies and stuff. So that was a great like opportunity for him. Okay, so like I love Nathan Lane's Timon, as do most people.
Yeah, yeah. He's great.
But to me it was extra special because it was one of my favorite voice actors voicing the main character, who was also a character that I loved in his own movie. So yeah. But yeah, so and one thing happened during that time. Again, this is 2006. And the internet was starting to become a little bit more like it is now. It was slowly moving away it was slowly moving away from the just one or two websites on the internet and starting to move more into like uh a rep like a reservoir of knowledge other than Wikipedia, you know?
Yeah.
So I found this Lion King website, this Lion King well, website no, this fan site with
Oh.
all sorts of different info about like the making of the movie and production notes and all of that.
Oh wow.
And that's pretty much what got me into the animation rabbit hole, because then I started appreciating all the other animated works that I already knew in a different light. That was also when I started looking more into, for example, the Looney Tunes in more detail. I mean, that was also helped by the fact that at the time Lunatics Unleashed was still airing.
Oh gosh.
uh yeah.
Love Looney Tunes.
I have opinions about Lunatics Unleashed.
Oh, but by all means, go into them. I want to hear them. Lunatics Unleashed was, I liked it, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, like I think that Lunatics Unleashed is probably one of the biggest cases of untapped potential that I've ever seen.
I can agree with that.
That's like the basic gist of my opinion on it is that if they played their cards right, because it's like this. I mentioned this before, I think, that like okay, so immediately by setting yourself apart from the classic cartoons, like okay, no, this is not Bugs Bunny, this is Ace Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Lola Bunny, this is Lexi. This is not Wile E. Coyote, this is Techie Coyote. Immediately by making the characters not the original characters, like you're not attaching a jetpack to Bugs Bunny and making him an action star. That's not what you're doing. What you're doing is taking the base of Bugs Bunny the character and creating a new character out of that can still feel in some areas like the original character, but still has enough freedom to move around and be their own person.
Yeah.
And I think that that with an action comedy show, that would have been so cool. Like there was so much that you can do, and especially like knowing the backlog of Looney Tunes. Well, I wouldn't call it lore because it wasn't exactly connected, but you could
Yeah.
create lore. You could create
Mm.
lore from that. Like I'm just gonna say like this, for example. For a while, I started thinking, oh, what if I did my own version of the Lunatics Unleashed? And I can tell you that one of the things that I would do would be okay. So get some of the earlier Looney Tunes, the ones that are forgotten. That
Yeah.
some of them were brought back, like in that one episode of Tiny Toons and like Animaniacs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they were pretty much dead by the time, oh, I don't know, Daffy Duck premiered. So yeah. But yeah, so I thought of getting those guys, making it like, okay, you know what? The Lunatics are not the original superhero team. There was another one before them, and it would have been those guys. Those guys would be veterans, and the team would have dissolved for some reason, and the members would be all like, oh, what you're doing is not worth it, like you don't like it's not worth fighting for this and stuff. And
Okay.
yeah,
That would be cool.
basically go a bit deeper, a bit deeper with that, because action comedy has so much room for amazing stuff. Like because you can just go wild with it.
No, absolutely. Like appending onto that, like where you can have a character that's clearly like a copy, quote unquote, of another character, and like taking it in a new direction while still like maintaining some of the roots. I think a good example of that is Invincible. That's what it's called. The Invincible comic and then the show. Like clearly, like the main character's dad is supposed to be a Superman analog, but they took it in a completely different direction. Like
Yeah.
it's not a one-to-one comparison to what you're talking about, but I think the idea of, you know, taking a base and then building on it in a different direction is there. And yeah, I agree. Like Lunatics Unleashed could have done that. Like they could have done something cool like that where they took the baseline and then just went with it in a completely different direct, maybe not a completely different direction, but a different enough direction to be unique, right?
Yeah. Like one of the things that always bugged me about Lunatics Unleashed was the fact that they felt the need to come up with villains for this show. And I'm like, dude, couldn't you use Looney Tunes? Couldn't you use like a more obscure Looney Tunes? Like it's 2005 and like it's not the 90s anymore, and still you have access to the WB library. I mean, I know that WB as a company is kind of weird because they have a lot of money but no idea how to use it.
Yeah. I have beef with WB over what happened with Stargate Atlantis. It's off topic, but I have beef with them over that.
I might have to look into Stargate Atlantis just because of the name.
It's very good. It's a good show. It's
okay.
Just if you ever go into it, be aware it never actually got a proper ending.
Okay.
There's pain. That's all. Pain, suffering, sadness, as it is with any great show that gets cut off before its time.
Yeah, I was gonna give an example of a show that I fell in love with, but it did get an ending, but you can tell that there was so much more that the creators wanted to do. Actually, I can give two examples. Actually, I can give two examples. One that managed to use its time very well, and another that didn't. The one that didn't was Rennie Cunningham, Ninth Grade Ninja.
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, no, it was a show. It was a Disney show, actually. It was super style. Basically, okay, so you know how Ben Schwartz is in everything right now?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Before all of that, he was Rennie Cunningham.
Oh.
Like first, when DuckTales 2017 was announced and they said, "Oh, Ben Schwartz is going to voice Dewey." And I'm like, "What? Ben Schwartz? You mean Rennie Cunningham? Ben Schwartz? Oh, okay. I can already tell what this character is going to be like." And I like it. And then when they said, "Oh, he's going to voice Sonic." I'm like, "Wait, we're talking about the same Ben Schwartz." Okay, no, I know that this is gonna be great. I know that this is weird. Okay. But I know that it's gonna be great. And even before that, I joke that Ben Schwartz voices ninjas, blue things, blue ninjas, because he voices Leonardo. And the other example that I was gonna say, the example of a show that got cut off but managed to use its remaining time super well, Rise of the TMNT. Like, I have never seen a show rush through so many plot points in such a little amount of time, but still manage to make it hit every single time. Like, the emotional beats all hit.
Really? I haven't seen Rise of the TMNT. Most of my experience with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the 90s show that I had.
The 90s show?
Yeah, there was one in the 90s, and we had a bunch of them on VHS.
Wait, in the 90s you had Ninja Turtles Next Mutation. That was a live action show. Are you talking about that one?
No, it was an animated one. It might have been from the 80s, actually.
Yeah, okay. It was the 87 one. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, okay. It was the 80s. Look, I didn't necessarily go back and look at it as an adult. I just had a bunch of them on VHS when I was a kid, and I knew it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I liked that a lot. Also I had the NES game too. I was really big into Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was very, very young, but that never carried on into my adult years. But I still like the concept, and I saw the trailer for the new. Is it a movie or a show they're doing? I actually forgot
The
already.
Seth Rogen project. The
Yeah.
that's a movie.
Okay. It looks
That's a
interesting.
movie. Oh, by the way, if you want, like, I don't know, should I? I was trying to think, like, should I recommend to you the Rise of the TMNT movie? Because you don't really need to watch the show to be able to watch the movie. You know, this one is on Netflix, by the way,
Okay.
which is why I'm recommending it to you.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, I think that
Oh.
the show is on Paramount TV, but like I don't know where that's actually available. It's not available in Portugal, for example. So
Probably only the US, as is common with these things. I'm loving the art style for this. It
it's it's awesome. Like I wish more animated shows nowadays looked like that.
This is great. Here, let me try and pull this up real quick on the stream because I want people to see this because this looks cool. One
It
moment.
is. It is. I can guarantee.
We're gonna.
It does have a few things that are a little bit like weird if you're used to normal TMNT lore, but it's like it's a completely different direction, but it's a direction that really, really works.
Hmm. All
You
right.
know? Like it's
Oh,
not
that's the
like
wrong
one of
one.
those things that are like, oh, it's gonna take this in a new direction because we feel like it. No, this feels like there was actual meaning, like an actual direction that they wanted to pull for.
Yeah, it
Yep.
looks good. Like
Yeah.
that right there. I mean, I'm sold. I'm sold on this. There was
Watch
a
it.
hold up. There's one other one that I saw here. I gotta copy the link for this one because this one's
Ah.
too funny looking for me. This right here is magnifique. Those eyes. How could you say no to those eyes?
Oh yeah. I'm
Oh
seeing
man.
it now.
Oh, okay. I have a new show to watch. Excellent.
Yeah, and
Oh.
it's not like, and fortunately or unfortunately, because again, it got cut short. There isn't too much to go through. You know, it's short but sweet. It's the definition of short but sweet.
Okay. I like that. I like shows that like get in, tell their story, and get out with like a solid ending. That was
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood's so popular because it's just okay. It's 50 some odd episodes. We go from beginning, we go from end, and that's it. That
Yeah.
it's just a story that has a beginning, a middle, an end, and it's good, it's solid. The animation's good, the story's good. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We're not trying to like
Yeah.
have this stretch this out for 300 plus episodes. We're just trying to tell the story and get out and do a good
Yeah.
job. And more shows need to do that.
Yeah. More writers need to know where they're going before they start writing, I would say.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why I want to go and watch Attack on Titan because apparently that's the case with Attack on Titan. The guy
Oh.
he already knew the ending when he started writing it. So like it was just a matter of how he was going to get there. And then he figured out how he was going to get there and then he wrote the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. I'm not interested in Attack on Titan, but kudos to the guy. We need more of that.
No, for sure. And that's most of the reason why I want to go back and finish it because I watched the first season, it was all right. I liked it a lot. The animation in particular is very they had a unique way of going about it with some of the 3D action shots they integrated into it. I like just some of the scenes of them moving around the city are just peak animation. I don't have another way of putting it. Like it's so good. It almost reminds me of some of the stuff that gosh, I'm having a hard time remembering the name of the studio, but they did the newest versions of the Fate series animes and a bunch of other stuff as well. I love them as a studio. I hate that I can't remember them. But just excellent integration of 2D and 3D animation. I love 2D animation. I love 3D animation on their own. But you put them together and it's just better. I don't.
Yes. Indeed.
We need more of it being integrated together, like and well, not like the weird like walk cycles of the Goblin Slayer. Dude, it's so Did you see that? Some of the stuff in the Goblin Slayer anime?
No, but I can imagine. I can imagine. Like, my knowledge of anime has been, a little bit rusty in the last few years.
No, that's reasonable. I'm the opposite, where I'm more into anime than Western stuff, just because the Western stuff has been disappointing me a lot lately, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, and to newcomers who are only just arriving recently, such as Zans. Hello and welcome. I am Mavernell, he of many faces, and this is Kairi Akita. We're talking about animation, translation, dubbing, all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And actually, I'm going to, real quick, in case people want to follow Kairi, there is the YouTube, of course.
Yay!
I'm given to understand you're going to be you were talking about doing some shorts or videos of some variety talking about animation and related stuff.
Yeah, I want to do that. I've got the script for the first one already written, actually.
Nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, this after I got sidetracked with another project that I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do. But yeah.
I've scrapped 3 projects in the last month alone. I feel it.
Okay.
You're not alone. This is okay. Normal. This is normal. I at least I think it is. I don't know. Apparently, Mr. Beast scraps like 60% of his projects or something like that. It's crazy.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so, I mean, if someone that successful is doing it, I mean, there must be some merit to scrapping projects here and there.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I want to see if I can do, I mean, I'm going to try. Like, the animation stuff I really want to do because, like, I know all sorts of bits and pieces of trivia, and I think that, it's interesting to put them, like, in video format. And one of the reasons why I like, for example, VTubing, standing here as this Atlantean shaman boy. By the way, I'm a boy.
Yeah.
Or rather, Kairi is the boy. Let's put it like that.
yeah. The voice actor, perhaps not, but
yeah. But one of the things that I love about this is that you can be like an anime character talking about all sorts of different things. Like, if you want to be like a voice actor, well, not a voice actor, if you want to be a VTuber, so an anime character, and for some reason you want to talk about the works of, I don't know, Ralph Bakshi, like, there's nothing saying that you can't. It's gonna be a little bit off the beaten path. It's gonna be a little strange, but it's gonna be like a crossover that nobody asked for, but that, I more than welcome it.
Sometimes the things that nobody asks for are the best things, though. I mean, it could be hit or miss, but like, I don't think trying to go with something new is bad in content creation. Worst case, it flops, and you learn that there's a reason why nobody was doing it. Best case, hey, you have a new niche. There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What I was saying is, other than the animation the animation shorts, I was thinking maybe that, but this is still just a maybe. I still have to think if I have like enough topics to talk about. I'm from Atlantis, as I've mentioned before here on stream. But there's like many, many, many different versions of Atlantis throughout fiction. Let's put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the very existence of Atlantis is. I'm just gonna put it like this. It's fiction. Okay,
Yeah.
it was something that Plato made up to make a point about Athens being like super cool, you guys.
Yeah. No,
So
it's a good point.
yeah. So, but there is interesting stuff. There is interesting stuff to be found in the many different adaptations that Atlantis got over the years. Because that's one of the reasons why I kind of love the myth is because like if you want to adapt it, you can go in all sorts of different directions. Like, and I've mentioned this before on my own streams. Like, if you want to go more militaristic, you can. If you want to go more mystical, you can. If you want to go more like prehistoric, almost, you can. If you want to go super advanced civilization, almost sci-fi, you can. If you want to go more fantasy, you can. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's fair game, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I love
yeah.
all the different various versions because I love the Atlantis myth too. Same with like King Arthur and whatnot. But my
Oh
favorite
yeah.
is still the one that Disney did. They nailed it with that one. It's got
Yeah.
that high tech sci-fi feel, but also like the sort of like mystical feel to it too. It's and,
Yeah.
and they also even like rolled into the militaristic part because those ships they
Mm-hmm.
the big ones, those weren't built to move people around. Those were built to mess stuff up. Like
Yeah, the Leviathan, dude.
yeah. Oh.
Yeah. No, like Disney's Atlantis is amazing. Like it was super maligned when it first came out. And I'm like, I feel so bad for the filmmakers because they were so confident in what they were doing and you can tell. I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, there is one thing about the movie that I don't really like.
Oh?
One thing. And I talked about this in my last stream. I have been actually playing the PlayStation 1 game of Atlantis, by the way.
I saw
Disney's
that.
Atlantis.
Saw
Yeah.
that.
uh and um in the cutscenes, like in the scenes that they include of the movie, because back in the early 2000s and late 90s, how did you enjoy movies that were still in theaters and that you had to wait forever for them to come out on VHS? You had those little cutscenes in the licensed video games. You had the same thing with at least I don't want to stretch myself too much, but at least with Tarzan and Toy Story 2, you had that.
Oh my
And
god.
you have that and you have that with Atlantis as well. So yeah, they included a scene of her talking to her father about how they're not doing very well, blah blah blah. Okay, and I actually paused the stream and talked about how, in my opinion, the one part that I don't like about the Atlantis movie is the fact that they decided to go in the direction of having the Atlanteans be like nigh immortal. And
Oh.
why don't like and I can understand why they did that, because they wanted the emotional connection to Kida right from the get-go, which was not even part of the original plan. Like, you've heard of the Viking prologue, right?
The Viking. Oh no, I haven't.
Oh, okay. So there is a prologue of the movie
Oh wait, no.
that
I
was
do know this.
entirely
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. No. Go on though. Explain for people who don't know. My brain started for a moment there. That's why I was like, wait, a Viking
Okay.
prologue. I didn't have it categorized like that in my head. Go on.
Okay. Okay. So basically, one of the very first scenes that they animated of the movie was a prologue, in which you had a bunch of Vikings trying to find Atlantis with the shepherd's journal in hand, and getting basically destroyed slash killed, and yeah, unambiguously killed by a sea monster. Well, they didn't know. Well, they thought it was a sea monster. It was actually the Leviathan. So yeah.
Yeah.
And when they got that prologue to one of the I don't know, I think it was one of the producers, actually. I don't remember which one. I don't remember his name. I don't know if it was Don Hahn. It could have been Don Hahn. He was pretty involved with stuff in the Disney Renaissance and the later years as well. But yeah, he looked at it, he watched it, and he was like, I think I have a better idea for this. Like, this is lovely. This is lovely, don't get me wrong, but okay, so what if we start the movie with Atlantis sinking, and you see Kida, and she sees the destruction happening around her. So basically, that means that the audience immediately creates a connection with Kida. The audience also gets to see Atlantis, not just like 45 minutes into the movie almost.
Yeah.
And basically, it serves as much better foreshadowing as to what comes later. Now, I can understand all of this. And I do think that it was the right way to go. Like, compared to the Viking prologue, as cool as that would have been, and not since the Black Cauldron did Disney have like a body count that high.
Oh, Black Cauldron was so good
in a
though.
movie.
They need to do more
cut
stuff like
scenes
that.
or not. But
Yeah,
but
Black
yeah,
Cauldron was great. Sorry, I love Black Cauldron.
That's okay. There's a lot to like about it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, even historically, So yeah. So yeah, but that also meant that, okay, so if we meet Kida later on, that means that she's almost 10,000 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
And
go on, sorry, we're probably gonna say the same thing.
Yeah. And like, I can understand Kida's whole thing. Okay, yeah, she doesn't know how to read. She doesn't know the significance between of the buildings and the pictures, and and she doesn't know how to make the little ketaks. That's what they call the little hovering motorcycle things.
Yeah.
They call them ketaks, I think. She doesn't know how to operate one. And then all of that makes sense because she was a child. She was a toddler when the fall of Atlantis happened, and her father doesn't want anyone else to know the secrets of what made their civilization once great, and that's fine. What about everyone else? What about everyone else who was already an adult, a working age adult in Atlantis when it fell?
Yeah.
There's no excuse for them not knowing how to read, not knowing any of this stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, did everyone agree to not pass this knowledge down? Like, what's going on? Like,
yeah.
Is the oldest person in Atlantis the king, and like everyone who was like knew what was like how to do stuff like die off at this point? Like,
yeah, but like if that's the case, then why is Kida still alive as well?
Yeah. No, it makes it. There's definitely like a disconnect there, and
Yeah.
yeah. I mean I have some of the same problems. There's always like little plot holes like that.
Yeah.
And I hate to be the Titan AE brain rot guy, but Titan AE has similar problems where it's like, okay, you built an entirely new planet with this spaceship. Why couldn't you, if you had all this technology to do that, why didn't you just terraform a random planet? Like, come on,
Yeah.
come on, Mars is right there. Just
Yeah,
move it in place.
Yeah. Didn't even have to go that far.
Yeah.
Unless the whole dredge thing was part of the plan from the get-go, and they couldn't find a way to make them cooperate or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I only watched the movie once.
Yeah, no, fair. God, it's such a good movie though. Like it's got like half a dozen different weird plot holes if you look, but like if you don't look, it's fantastic. But once you start looking, the cracks appear, and it's like, man, this is really well animated, but the story makes no fucking sense after a certain point.
Yeah.
It's okay though. I love it anyways.
Yeah, no, like same thing with me and Atlantis.
I have the exact same issue with Atlantis.
I love it, like warts and all.
Yep. No, that's how it is with a lot of these shows.
It's just frustrating because then you want to imagine how things work in this universe and you can't because it makes no feasible sense.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, because then you have to figure out what the filmmakers did, and then you're like, there's no feasible way. I mean, there is, but they didn't talk about it, so it might as well not exist.
No,
so like,
for sure.
You have to come up with your own reasons, and that immediately goes into the realm of fanon, and like that's like nothing against fanon, but there's a very distinct difference between working with fanon and working with canon. You know, like you can if you're for example, if your fan fiction takes only canon as its base and keeps fanon out of the way, it's gonna be a lot more solid. At least that's what I feel, because it's gonna be accessible to everyone instead of just being accessible to people familiar with the fanon.
Yeah, no, for sure. Dad Not brings up a good point. It's unfortunate because during that era, world building was not really cared about. They were kids' movies, quote unquote, after all.
Yeah.
And yeah, early 2000s was terrible for world building.
Yeah. No, like, and you know what the worst part with Atlantis is? Like, they had a shit ton of world building done with how the city was able to survive all those years, underground. Like, they had a whole slew of like production notes and little tidbits and stuff. Like, everything that you see on the movie has a reason to be there. The scenes in the city and stuff. Like, everything was thought out except for this, which is kind of important.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like you can find that in a lot of, I mean, particularly from that era, just a lot of weird, just like, you never really explained that, did ya? I mean, I think my favorite example of that, where they just are like, yeah, fuck it, we ball though, like, and just like, yeah, we know, but we don't care because it's cool, is Treasure Planet.
Oh, yeah.
Sailing ships in space was so... Okay, I'm sorry. That's ridiculous, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. No, like, Treasure Planet is also another movie that I love. And, like, actually, that is an interesting thing. Okay, so we just mentioned 3 movies that came out, like, 1 year between each other. Okay, so we have Titan AE came out in 2000, Atlantis came out in 2001, and Treasure Planet came out in 2002, and they're all animated movies that are action oriented and that
Mhm.
are not what you would expect from the respective people who made them. Like
Yeah, they also all got ground under the boot of bad marketing.
yes. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Holy crap. It's like they were trying at that point. And like
Oh, oh no,
like
no, no. Treasure Planet was marketed badly on purpose.
oh.
Yeah, no,
Dude.
no. Disney
Dude, that is
Disney shot it in the foot on purpose because they didn't want to do it. They,
that is so bad.
yeah, no,
They,
because
they
it was a passion project by the two guys who made it, and they like had to do like 3 or 4 movies before they were allowed to do it. And then Disney was like, "Yeah,
oh
by the way,
man.
we're gonna kill the marketing for this and market
Really?
Lilo and Stitch instead."
Really, John Musker and Ron Clements wanted to do that movie ever since, oh, I don't know, the late 80s, I'm gonna guess?
Yeah, no, it was a big project that they'd wanted to do for a long time, and then they finally got to do it after I think they had to do like 3 or 4 projects before they finally got the permission to do it.
Before that, let me think of the movies because yeah, I have kind of a Disney encyclopedia in my brain.
Heck yeah.
So
You and
okay.
Schaffelrest Productions both.
Oh yeah. I watched a lot of Schifferless productions a few years back, like 2 years ago, I think. Then I kind of stopped because unfortunately he kind of ruined some of the fun that I had. Like
Yeah.
I think that he was a little too harsh on movies like Raya and Frozen, I think.
Oh, he's definitely very harsh on Frozen. Raya,
Yeah.
I couldn't. I got like a few minutes in and I dropped it.
Yeah, no,
It
like
did
it's
not vibe with
like
me.
it's entirely understandable. Like it's just that it's a movie that I really was, kind of looking forward to and seeing and I don't like basically this. I don't like being told what to think about something.
No, I agree.
So so like so when I started the movie had just came out. The movie had just come out, and I had just watched it like once, and I thought it was, pretty okay. But then I saw his review, and he just went all out, bashing it to the ground, and I was like, dude, come on, like
Yeah, it
it
wasn't
doesn't
that
have,
bad.
yeah, like it doesn't have to be like that, dude. And looking back, I haven't rewatched it yet. That's my own fault.
Yeah.
But especially comparing it to something like Encanto, I can go like, oh yeah, okay, now I can see the problem.
Yeah, I think. Oh God,
Like
Encanto.
Encanto is a much more solid movie.
It's so good. I've watched
Yeah.
Encanto like 4 times now. Like
Yeah.
genuinely, the day after I watched it again. I'm not even
I
kidding.
did I did that too. I did that
It's
too.
so good.
Oh my goodness. And I can tell you like an interesting little thing that my brother did with me because I was like my favorite character in the movie is Bruno.
Oh,
Uh
he's a treasure.
and yeah. And after I watched the movie with my brother, uh, he went to look for who voiced him because at the time we just waltzed in there. We didn't know any of the voice actors. We watched the credits, and we went like, "Huh, John Leguizamo. Who is that? Why is that? Why does that name sound familiar?"
Hmm.
And my brother went to look for it, and he started laughing, and I and I went like, what is it? And we played a little game we played a little game. He went like, "Okay, I'm gonna let you guess. I'm gonna let you guess who it is."
Okay.
He's from a movie that we want to watch, that we haven't watched it yet, but it's live action. And I went like, what? A movie that we want to watch but haven't. But it's also live action, which narrows it down pretty much. Like, I don't know if I've made it clear, but I'm mostly an animation fan. I don't enjoy live action all that much.
Same. There's very little live action I watch these days. It's very select and usually very trashy.
Yeah. And I went like, okay, can you give me another clue? And he's like, okay, you're gonna guess almost immediately with this. It's a movie based on a video game.
Oh.
And I'm like, a movie based on a video game? Wait, no. Like there's not those many. Like there's a Street Fighter movie, there's the Mortal Kombat movie. What else? And then it popped in there. And like even the color is right. He's Luigi.
Oh my god.
In the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Okay, I haven't actually looked at everyone who's voice acting for the new Mario movie. I know what's his face is doing Mario and that Jack Black is doing Bowser.
Yeah. Then Jack Black as Bowser is one of those castings that at first you'd be like, huh, really? And then you hear it and oh.
Yeah, I get it now. Yeah, it works so well. And
do you yield?
Honestly, I think it's working a little too well with how down bad VTuber Twitter has been for Bowser. It's a little alarming, to say the least, how effective that was.
Yeah. But like and people and some I've seen some people also go like, oh, why did they get Hollywood actors for these characters? Couldn't they get voice actors? And I'm like, hello, Chris Pratt and Jack Black have like four voice acting credits each to their name by now.
Oh, I think Jack Black has a few more than that.
Yeah, no, like that's why I said at least.
Yeah, because Jack Black's huge into voice acting, actually.
Yeah.
I love. Because he did Kung Fu Panda, right?
He did at least Kung Fu Panda and that one shark in Shark Tale.
Oh God, Shark Tale.
At least, and I'm pretty sure that he did more stuff that I'm not remembering right now.
I know he's done more stuff that I'm not remembering. I'll have to, one moment. Go off. Feel free. Because there was you were talking about the actor who was voicing Luigi in this movie, right?
No, I was talking about the actor who played Luigi in the 1993 live-action Super Mario movie.
In the 1993 one. Oh, yes. Never mind.
That's where John Leguizamo played Luigi.
Okay.
So yeah. So now Luigi and Bruno are forever intrinsically linked in my mind.
Reasonable. The
color scheme doesn't help.
It's not the same, but like one of the actors I follow a lot is, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. But he plays Ronan Dex in Stargate Atlantis, and he was Aquaman.
What version of Aquaman?
The movie one that's recent. Jason Momoa. Yeah, I follow him in everything he does because he plays the same character in every movie and TV show, but it's a really good character. Like
That's great.
How Aquaman acts in that movie, if you've seen the Aquaman movie that Marvel did recently, or not Marvel, the DC did recently, That's the character he plays through the entirety of Stargate Atlantis.
Mm,
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's perfect, and he
yeah.
plays the same character and everything, and I'm here for it.
I mean, even before I became like this, I was interested in watching the Aquaman movie because I know that it's at least what I've heard is that it's not very good. It's very, very dumb, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm all for that.
It's from like a storytelling perspective, it's whatever, right? But like from just a okay, we're here to tell a story, not because it's a good story, but because it's a fun story. It's great. And
Yeah.
then just they did really well on the CGI and all of that, which I guess it does fall into animation because holy moly, there's a lot of CGI in that. Oh my god.
Yup.
And it's really good CGI too. What's going on in chat here?
I think someone is putting in some
Oh,
precepts of something or
yeah.
other, and
There has
while
been
in the chat.
a lot of Zote role playing, which is a bit off topic. I would appreciate it if we kept things on topic, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And whoa, okay.
Yeah, no, it's been going on for a while. I just didn't want to disrupt the flow of the conversation, so.
No, we're and this person is getting removed. Yeah. I just didn't. Yeah, I also didn't want to disrupt the flow of the conversation, but it would be nice if we stayed on topic with the what we're talking about. That would be
Yeah.
fantastic. One moment.
Yeah.
There we go.
Aquaman was the blast. It was dumb fun. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for when I watch it.
No, that
Those movies are on HBO Max, right?
I
mean,
have.
supposedly.
I don't know what's on what streaming platforms. I buy Blu-rays of the stuff I like after the fact. We'll just put it that way.
Good. You can still do that. You can still do that here in Portugal, this stupid country. They're phasing out every physical media. You can't buy Blu-rays anymore, or DVDs or anything. It sucks.
Yeah, no, that's awful.
Yeah. I had to import my Sonic 2 DVD, no, Blu-ray from France.
The death of physical media, because there is an active attempt to kill off physical media is it's tragic because like even if like I don't want the physical copy a lot of the time, like I still want the option to have it if I want it, right? It's just
Yeah.
and like I have a lot of physical media. I don't actually use the physical media. I have copies elsewhere, digital copies that I keep locally stored. But
Yeah.
you know, because that's I mean it's more efficient, and then I just keep that way I don't have to have it on a shelf. I can keep it wrapped into plastic and put it away where it's safe, just in case I need the backup. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's I'm sorry. That topic makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially what's been going on with libraries and whatnot. Let's move away from the sad stuff, though.
Yes.
I did one other topic I wanted to touch on. Was I don't know how familiar you are with stuff like this, but Western shows that are inspired by anime, like stuff like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Ruby, stuff like that. I don't know how familiar you are with stuff like that, but I'm a big fan of those shows. Well,
Okay.
Ruby less so. I loved Ruby at the start, and then yeah,
After Monty Ohm died.
after Monty died, the vision got clouded. Let's say.
Yeah. I mean, that's the general idea that I get. Like, I was never into Ruby. I'm just gonna say that straight up.
Reasonable.
By the way, Monty died on my birthday, actually.
Wait,
Which
really?
was, yeah, yeah. First of February. That's when he died.
Wow.
Like when I saw that on when I saw that on the news on my birthday, I was like, what? Okay. Well, that I mean, my birthday is also the date of an important happening in Portuguese history, which was the killing of the king.
Really?
Yeah, they killed off a king and the heir in one fell swoop. 100 or so years before I visited before I visited this timeline, so to speak.
Dang.
So yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I know very little about Portuguese history. It's not something that I feel like gets covered in American classes, really.
Yeah, no, like, dude, there's Portuguese people who also don't know a lot about Portuguese history because of the way that it's taught and because of the way that it's taught in schools. Like, it's made so boring. It's like,
Mm, yeah, we don't have that problem over here. Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying, um, so yeah, American animation inspired by anime. Well, Western animation actually.
Yeah, Western
Uh,
anime. Yeah, Western animation that's been inspired by anime because anime was originally
uh,
inspired by Western animation, so I think it fascinating that it looped back around.
yeah. Um, so yeah, you mentioned Avatar, and yeah, like, I kind of, I
Wait,
have a weird relationship with Avatar, and
okay.
the
Wait,
main reason, yeah,
you
the
tread
go.
on unsteady ground here. Be careful with what
I
you
know,
say.
I know, I know. I can understand that. I can understand that. Okay. So, my uh issue with Avatar, I don't know. It's like it's a weird thing. Like when it was airing like originally, like in the US, because we got things we got things like 1 or 2 years after they came out in the US for a while. Nowadays the wait time is much shorter, but back then, like 2005, 2006, we still had to wait like 1 to 2 years for stuff to get localized. Um, and and at the time, when it first aired, I did follow it, but then like season interims happened, and
Mm,
I don't think that I actually watched the entirety of like the Fire book in Portuguese because I didn't catch it. I just didn't catch it because, like, again, that's something else about Portuguese translation and localization and whatnot. Like, e- the scuff is real. I'm just gonna say this: the scuff is real in that with you can never guarantee, like, if you don't get an entire series right off the bat, you can never
yeah.
guarantee the quality from beginning to end because it's dubbed in chunks. It's dubbed
Yeah.
in Yeah, it's dubbed in chunks, sometimes even within the same season because they send you the season in chunks as well. So and in between seasons, stuff might happen because, like, one thing that is very unfortunate here in Portugal is that you don't have like dedicated dubbing actors. I mean there's people who want to be that, but the medium is kind of closed off to them because it's mostly populated by theater and television actors who can't make their entire living out of theater and television and film work, you know? So and that's how the dubbing industry in Portugal started. It was those people. Oh, of course, this means that most of our early dubs were very, very good because you had experts in their field doing them. But this also means that there's very little room for people who are mostly interested in the voice acting part of it and not the part of, oh, this is just a side gig while I'm waiting for my other stuff, you know? Which and the reason why I bring this up is because there is like a very nasty tendency of voice casts not being the same whenever there's a break brought on by those chunks.
Yeah. No,
Like,
there's been similar issues in the past over here. I know 4Kids was particularly bad with that. Luckily, I missed most of that, but there's more recent examples by other companies as well.
yeah. So yeah, you have because yeah, for a lot of actors, this is not the thing that they want to be doing. What they want to be doing is actual bona fide acting. Like this is just a side job to them, something to keep them busy while they're not working on other stuff. So when they are working on the other stuff, of course they're not going to come back. They might come back later if they have time, but if they can't come back now, and the client who's working with the studio wants everything done like as fast as possible. Sometimes they want things done for yesterday, to give you an idea. So like there's no time to call everyone back. Recasts are an inevitability, so to speak. So yeah,
that sucks.
that I don't remember. I think that Avatar actually didn't get all that it wasn't that bad for Avatar. It wasn't that bad for Avatar. I think that most of the original of the cast that was there in season 1 stayed throughout the entire show.
Well, that's
Including
good.
some people who including some people who don't usually do voice acting, which is interesting. They're usual like other types of actors, mainly television actors. We did have one little bit of a problem though, which was our voice for Zuko.
Oh no. What did they do to my boy? What did they do to my boy?
They made him talk like this.
All
the time. Yeah. Yeah, no, like, I think that that's actually one of the reasons why I was never able to get into Avatar all that much. Because, like this, the same voice actor also voiced Sokka. Like, I think that they were expecting the two characters to not really be, to not really talk too much to each other.
Oh no. Okay.
It was the same voice actor, and he was great as Sokka, but for Zuko, he did that, which is also, by the way, he also voiced Kai in the original Beyblade anime, and he did the exact same voice. And like, why do you keep doing this to pretty boys? Why do you keep making them sound like like I don't know, like a car that doesn't want to start or something? It's like, what? What is your deal? Like, what about this character's looks and personality makes you think that this is a good voice for them? Like,
look, if you want to go edgy, you gotta put on a little bit of the growl. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's okay. I get it.
And
You're forgiven for not being into Avatar: The Last Airbender. I understand.
yeah, so yeah, like later on I did go back and watch everything that I was missing, like everything from the Book of Fire.
Okay, okay.
Uh so yeah, I did get to listen to Dante Basco
Oh, it's
instead of Old Man River over there.
yeah, fair enough. Good. Okay, good. I'm glad you got to experience the voice actor for
Yeah.
Zuko was great in the English dub.
Yeah, no, he is. He is.
Yeah,
Um but
great actor for
but
a
yeah, no,
great
it was
character.
yeah, but it was very unfortunate because like again, one of the reasons that makes Avatar so good is indeed Zuko's character. But how can you take
Hmm.
him seriously when he talks like that?
Yeah,
Then like you don't really look forward to seeing him on screen when that happens. So
Yeah, it
yeah.
really does show that like you can write a great character, but if you don't cast a good actor for it, like it doesn't matter how good your writing is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easier like I usually say that it's easier for like a good script to save a bad optics than it is for good optics to save a bad script, and I think that the same principle kind of applies here.
Yeah. Well, I know for me, like from what I've seen, what I've experienced is like, you can a bad script's a bad script generally speaking, but a
Hmm.
kind of okay mediocre script can be
Hmm.
elevated into
Oh,
a great show or movie by a great actor. But like
totally, totally.
a great script can just get by the same margin though, like it doesn't matter how good your script is if your actors are terrible.
Yeah. I mean, okay, you added that last part, but until you did, I was gonna say that that's one of the reasons why most of my favorite movies are like sevens out of tens instead of like nines out of tens.
Hmm.
Like I like my favorite movies are much more in the line of well, let's say Atlantis, uh, The Emperor's New Groove, The Great
Oh.
Mouse Detective, stuff like that. I'm sorry for you for only using the cats don't dance if I want to escape the clutches of the mighty mouse.
No, The
Um,
Great Mountains Detective is a great movie. I mean, all those movies are ones that I'm like
I
thinking about. I'm like, yeah, those are really good. Like,
Yeah, like I would go to any of those before I went to any of the of what people usually call like the Pixar greats.
mm-hmm,
Because Pixar makes great movies. I mean,
mm-hmm.
I haven't watched Lightyear yet. The last
Don't.
don't
It's you can skip it. It's fine. It's
um here's the problem. I don't want to because I want to watch them all. I'm a completionist.
oh, you're one of those. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
I have
didn't.
I have a checklist.
I couldn't finish it because they just butchered Lightyear's character. In my opinion,
Yeah.
I don't like what they did with that movie. I
Yeah, no, I've heard of it. I know some spoilers.
yeah,
I know some spoilers.
yeah.
I'm not too stingy. I'm not too stingy about spoilers most of the time because it's like for me it's mostly about what a work of fiction is about.
Hmm.
Well, no. It's more about how it's about it than what it's actually about. You know? Because there's many different ways that you have of telling the same story. And I just think that people get a little bit too hung up on the what's and don't think enough about the hows.
No, that's fair. I feel the same way sometimes. I generally prefer to go into things with like a fair minimum of spoilers. Like I want like a little bit to tease me in.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes I need more spoilers to tease me in than less. But
yeah.
generally speaking, I usually prefer less spoilers, but I do get the whole like the how being more important than the what sometimes, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of times where it's like the content's good, but it's like it's stuff I've seen before, right? Like
Yeah.
for a sorry, it's not animation, but the thing that comes to mind for me is the Green Knight, that movie that came out just what was it, within the last couple years? That
I'm sorry. When you talk about Green Knight, I think of the guy that got mauled by the Black Knight in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's the same character, right? Because it's King Arthur's story. So like, yeah, it's like I already know who the Green Knight is. I know his story, but the way they did it in the recent movie, it's like the way they did that story, it's very unique and honestly phenomenal. It's one of those live action movies where it's like, okay, this is good. And Dad Not makes a good point with Lightyear. It's like time travel needs to be a plot device we stop using.
Yeah, I like time travel as a starting point, not so much as the main concept that you're using. I mean, my whole character is about time travel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be kind of hypocritical of me to say that, oh no, I don't like time travel in any shape or form. But I do think that it needs to be used sparingly. Like, I am allowed a little bit of leeway because I am a PNG tuber. So, like, time travel is part of my lore and it's something that I can, kind of joke around with. If I'm going to write a serious story, I am yeeting myself to the future permanently.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think time travel is fun if it's used to enable like the starting of a story, right? Rather than is the primary as like start of the primary conflict. Like if
Yeah.
I'm not explaining myself well. But if the driving force of your story is time travel, I think you probably have a problem unless you do it perfectly.
Yeah, no, like, because time travel is incredibly hard to figure out properly. Like, unless you have a very, very good idea of how your version of time travel works, it's not. And I have yet to meet a version of time travel that does not have massive holes in it.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I haven't played a Chrono Trigger, by the way. I don't know how the time travel works in that.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger does it pretty well, honestly, but there's definitely like you look at it and you're like, okay, there's some inconsistencies here. But they also made the game in like literally a year, and for what it is, it's fucking incredible.
Yeah. Time travel as the explanation for why things are happening is the big issue for me. Yeah, that's where you run into problems, because then you're basically making time travel into the Matrix.
And,
yeah. That like, the Matrix is a simple enough concept to get behind. Because it is fairly well explained, at least in the first movie. I haven't seen the other two, so I can't really say much about that.
What other two movies? I don't know what you're talking about. They only made one Matrix. What are you on about?
For holeless time travel, Harry Potter did well. Oh yeah, actually, I think that's one of the solid time travel that I've seen.
Well, I think the thing I like about the Harry Potter time travel is that like it was very limited, and then you had two versions of the same person existing at the same time.
Yeah, no, it was like it was legitimately a stable time loop.
Yeah, no, that's a good version of time travel. I think a good example of why time travel is finicky as a plot device, though, is Doctor Who. Because Doctor Who almost never uses time travel as a plot device. It's time travel exists to get you to the story of the episode. Almost every circumstance. And
yeah.
And the times when they do time travel shenanigans, they're very careful with it. Yeah.
I've heard good things about Doctor Who, and you're basically confirming that.
Up to a point. It falls off.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
They did a good job for a long time.
Speaking of Doctor Who, did you know that the only BBC showrunner that wasn't knighted was the one that canceled Doctor Who because the Queen was a fan?
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
Honestly, based.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, we are nearing the 2-hour mark here. This is about as long as I want to go with it. This was a fantastic conversation. I want, as much as I think we could probably go for another solid 4 hours. My issue with
probably yes.
My issue with going for another 4 hours is it's not very digestible. I honestly think 2 hours is pushing it.
Yeah, no, if people want to watch the VOD, it's gonna be like, dude, you have a choice between watching the VOD and watching Gone with the Wind. I mean, a lot of people would say watch the VOD because it's much less problematic nowadays. But you get my point.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely. This was fantastic, though. Hopefully, we can talk again someday.
Yeah, sure.
And do some other stuff.
I'm all up for it.
Yeah, I don't know when that will be. I've got too many. I've got like 3 weeks of random stuff planned out here and there. So, but maybe one day I'll hop onto your channel, maybe, or you'll hop onto mine, or we'll do something. We'll see. I refuse to commit to anything until I've already fully planned it out, because I've had to scrap 3 things just this month because I couldn't commit to them. I feel bad about it. But anyways, without further ado, let's leave them behind. Wherever.
Yeah.
Before we go though, we did talk about it a little bit with your projects and whatnot. I am gonna link your channel once again for those who have not consumed your content. Do you have anything cool coming up?
Let's see. Besides the animation trivia shorts that I mentioned, and probably the Atlantis, the various versions of Atlantis shorts, I also want to see if I can get into making music covers, because I love singing, and that's one thing that I've wanted to do ever since I realized, oh, hey, that's a thing that can actually be done. It's not like impossible. I also have a Twitter where I talk about miscellaneous things, and also retweet cats and stuff about animation and retro gaming. Let's see what else.
You've also been doing a lot of retro games lately, right?
Yeah. The latest one. Other than the Atlantis one, I've decided to play the Flintstones: The Rescue of Dino and Hoppy, which is mostly known around the internet as the basis for 7 Granddad.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. So yeah, and today since it's April Fool's on my Twitter, I decided no, I was possessed by the spirit of Portuguese Prince, and he knows a lot of Portuguese. He knows a lot of languages, but no English. So he tweeted in Portuguese. That must have been confusing for the people who usually follow me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was trying to find your Twitter earlier, and then I couldn't. it wouldn't pop up, and so I had to go to my notifications and find you from there. It was really awkward.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It was good. I just was thrown off. I was like, wait, what? I had to actually remember your @ too. It was like I can't just search by your normal name. It was pretty funny though. It was pretty funny though.
So yeah, and another thing that I want to see if I can do is I was planning on working on a video talking about why I like Holostar's Tempest. But I'm not sure if that's gonna go actually like anywhere, because like it's kind of long. Maybe after I've done a couple of the animation shorts and got my foot back into video editing. Then maybe I'm gonna try to do that, and maybe also rewrite a couple of things, because some of it comes a little bit off as a, I don't know, it's kind of like diminishing the rest of the popular VTubing sphere, and I don't want that to be the idea, like that I give off, especially because everyone works so hard. Like I don't want people to think that I'm like, oh no, Tempest is much better than everyone else because blah 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 blah. No, that's not the idea at all.
Yeah, well, writing is 90% editing, so
Yeah.
All right, I am gonna take us out of here. Looks like we both gained some new subscribers. It's been a fantastic stream.
Heck yeah! Thank you!
Alright, without further ado, wherever you may be, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon, or night, I hope you have a good one. Talk to y'all later. Take care of yourselves. Bye!